Alright guys, we're back again with another video. We hope y'all are doing well. We hope you've been watching along with our vlog channel as well. And if you haven't, please jump over, go like and subscribe.
We're about to be at 600, I think. So that's cool.
We're at like 593. Let's get it to 1,000, guys. Get it to 1,000. Let's go. But yeah,
So
episode 103.
4.
Is it? Hold on.
You better leave that in.
Oh yeah, okay. Episode 104. Roll that intro.
Okay. Well, today we're doing a video about why McDonald's is better in Europe.
And I do think it is because when we had it in Spain and Italy, I think we had it in Italy, right?
We had a breakfast in Italy once. I think we got like...
At the McDonald's?
Yeah. But that was just because we didn't like seek it out. We just saw it and we're like,
I remember that,
let's just try it.
Yeah, I will say the McDonald's do look a little nicer.
And in
there.
Spain, it was... Yeah, it did look nice.
In Spain, it was like the party stop for everyone because it was
2 or 3 in the morning. Everybody was there.
It was in Madrid, and so all the people that were drinking and stuff would go there. I think there was like a football game one of the nights.
I think so.
Because everyone had jerseys on and stuff like that. Yeah. But yeah, all right. Let's see why it's better in Europe.
It's from Fern.
Yeah, I'll put the original in the description.
On November 19, 2022, Juan Baus tweeted this picture, absolutely loving the design of this reusable packaging that's being introduced at McDonald's France. The reusable packaging went viral, like really viral. Emmanuel Macron, the president of France, retweeted him and said something French. We saw all of this and had a lot of questions. How come McDonald's is introducing this type of packaging? Why in France? And why does it look so good? In the following months, we went down a rabbit hole and ended up modeling the entire dishware collection. As it turns out, sleek fry containers tell many stories. How the European Union is bringing conglomerates like McDonald's to their knees, not just in France, but all over the continent. How a country known for everything fancy developed a truly unique relationship with fast food, and a completely different type of McDonald's, McDo.
McDonald's in France, you don't understand how popular it is.
And, of course, how good design can transform experiences.
Have you ever been to a McDonald's in Paris?
No? Why?
It all started with a simple message. Yo, Juan, would you be down? He was.
There is something there with the whole ad campaign around it, and I think people's reactions to it are quite good. But then also maybe like the question is like, are people gonna steal this?
When Juan is not going viral and getting featured in Drew Gooden videos, he's a UX writer for some of the biggest brands out there. Oh, and Juan also lives in Paris. To get a better look at this weird new packaging, we needed a man on the ground. Juan was that man.
This is so funny.
How intense all the music is. Yeah, it looks like we're at like a criminal investigation documentary.
It's like they're infiltrating.
The design is truly spectacular. We will get to that in a minute. First, we need to understand why this is happening. As we reviewed Juan's footage and dug deeper, we realized that it's not just the packaging that makes French McDonald's
looks like sweet potato,
special.
Like, purple potatoes.
I would say France being... I guess Paris is probably like the iconic place for culinary and food, right?
I would assume so.
So I would think that like the McDonald's in Paris is like a culinary experience more. I know it sounds dumb, but it just seems like that would be the place to do
it's
it.
going to be as elevated as they could possibly make fast food.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Chapter 1.
Kind of want to go.
The Rise of McDo.
Fast food in France do not seem like a good match. It's the country of fine dining, Michelin stars, and long-lasting dinners in cozy bistros. When McDonald's came to the country in 1997, the French were skeptical.
70, 80 top chefs in the country took out a newspaper ad in the country's biggest newspaper saying that they thought it was preposterous that McDonald's was coming to France. And they were like, this is absolutely ridiculous. We need to stop this fast food thing.
But they could not help but indulge, like everybody else on the planet.
Ici, c'est plus complet, c'est plus sympa.
Nonetheless, the company remained controversial.
It's just, yeah, I feel like it's inevitable because you're going to have people who are like, I don't know exactly how it is in France and Paris, but I'm sure not everyone can afford to go to like the Michelin star restaurants and the really nice places. So when you can have something so easily accessible, there's going to be an audience for it.
Yeah, but the culture there isn't to be eating fast food in general. Like,
that's what they were afraid of, that they were going to like kind of ruin a bit of the food culture.
Yeah, I mean, it could, yeah, I would see how that could happen.
Yeah.
It could take a hit. But what I'm saying is they're not providing something that people in France desired, like oh, I just wish I had a quick in and out.
Yeah,
I think that they've adapted to, like,
well, because they're giving
food is an experience.
Yeah.
In most other parts of the world.
Yeah, I know.
Just like if tomorrow all of our fast food went away, people would lose their minds here because we've adapted to that, like,
lifestyle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
over many years. Yeah.
Yeah. So many people are used to just like going to work and then picking up food on their way home.
The drive-through, yeah.
Especially if you have a family.
That is so crazy because you guys, wherever you guys are from, there's really like, well, maybe the UK has a lot, but I don't know about, like, when we saw Spain, Italy, there's like no drive-throughs anywhere.
Then again, we definitely were in like tourist areas, but yeah, I agree. I don't think it's as common, if at all. I will say I had no idea that fast food was pretty much like non-existent in France. I didn't know that. I thought they still had certain fast food places.
Yeah, because
just maybe not as much.
They said 1997.
I know.
That's wild. I would have thought it was way before that it was over there.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Commercial for decades. In 1992, it launched a poster campaign showing the French chef and absolute superstar Paul Bocuse secretly dreaming about a Big Mac while examining a pile of plump chickens. The chef sued right away for $2.7 million.
Wow.
When I found out these were real Big Mac advertisements, I immediately contacted my lawyers and instructed them to seek damages.
That's weird that they're using...
I know, without his consent.
That's weird.
I will say, why do they gotta put the French accent?
I know. That's so fucking funny.
Heavy French accent.
Well, because it's a guy that's...
It just makes it sound funny.
It is pretty funny.
It sounds like they're making fun of him.
Yeah, they're trying to like bring his energy to life.
He's seen promoting this tasteless, boneless food in which everything is soft.
That's awesome.
His lawyer added the ad would be
an intolerable insult to the Pope of world cuisine.
7 years later, it got much worse for the fast food chain. At the time, the World Trade Organization and the US were trying to force Europe to accept imports of hormone-induced beef. Europe resisted, and the US in turn imposed heavy duties on certain luxury products.
Because they said, no, we don't want hormone-infused meat.
That's fucking weird.
So they got mad that USA got mad that they were like, we're not gonna fucking corrupt our people's food. Pretty much.
As a retaliatory measure. One of the items targeted was Roquefort cheese from France. French sheep farmers were angry, and they found a symbol of American global capitalism and trade doctrine like no other: McDonald's. So a French horde went and utterly wrecked a restaurant of the chain, which was currently under construction in the small French city Millau. The horde was led by the activist and sheep farmer José Bové, the Frenchest-looking man of all time. I mean, what even is this pipe? The McDonald's incident made Bové a national hero and leader of the French anti-globalization movement. He published a best-selling book 2 years later, and in 2007 he ran for president. Later he went into European politics, all on the back of really hating McDonald's.
José Bové rose to global fame 15 years ago after he demolished a half-built McDonald's.
However, despite Bové's crusade, McDonald's could not be slayed. Off the bat, it had a competitive advantage over brasseries, bistros, and cafés. The restaurants were designated as takeout joints. This meant the value-add tax was just 5.5% versus the 19.6% at gastronomic restaurants. The food was cheap and the French economy was bad, like always. Another factor played a much bigger role though. McDonald's always has been good at inserting itself into the local culture of the country it operates in.
They do.
But nowhere has it succeeded on such a scale as in France. the company
Damn.
realized that French customers were drastically different from American ones. Americans visited McDonald's more often, at any time of the day, frequently alone, opting for takeout 70% of the time. In contrast, the French came in groups, spent more money per visit, and significantly more time in the restaurants. 70% of them dropped in during regular lunch and dinner hours. French McDonald's was not treated like a takeout place by customers, but like any other bistro.
Like a cafe.
As NPR puts it,
So
sitting
interesting.
down to a meal is a cornerstone of French culture. So,
I will say I really I admire that. That's cool because it's like you're not just like in a hurry to like get out, eat, blah, blah, blah. Like you want to sit down, you want to communicate, you want to like enjoy the experience. And I think that's cool that that's in the culture because we don't really have that in our culture here. In our culture here, it's like you have to either be pretty like well off to just kind of like
Well, I would say
go
for
wherever
like
whenever you want.
dinner, it's way more common, but like lunch, it's like grab your shit and go.
Yeah.
I feel like people think it's a waste of time to sit down for lunch here, especially in like during a week.
Yeah.
During the work week.
Yep.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen that often.
That's why fast food is so popular.
Yeah, I know.
French culture.
And it's cheap.
So, the chain adapted. In the US, its restaurants are designed to attract people from afar, the golden M glooming high, calling you to that sweet, sweet drive-in in a car. The interior is often a little uncomfortable, intended to minimize customer visiting time and maximize purchasing turnover. In France, the restaurants are often sleek, modern, and comfortable.
Cool. Yeah.
You can find relatively cozy corners designated specifically for larger groups of people.
Damn.
Sometimes there's even table service.
What?
On the outside, the golden M is often subdued on the facade. The architecture is regionally diverse. McDonald's in France almost doesn't feel like fast food. That is so apparent.
Listen,
even the dumbest show on the
people there were so resistant to it. At least they're accommodating
to the culture more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
that's the only way I think you would get the business more and more. Otherwise, if you're gonna have it it wouldn't work doing it the way we do it here. Just wouldn't.
I mean, it might, but clearly that's not what they're doing, and it's working.
Planet Emily in Paris noticed.
This is so chic. There's no grimace, no hamburglar.
What's a hamburglar?
Never mind.
Products are locally sourced, and there are unique offerings like the obvious
really
McBaguette, but also a Croque McDo. McDonald's does this everywhere, of course, but they do it very well in France. There's a funny little review of the world-famous La Dorée macarons in Paris on TripAdvisor. The reviewer concludes, the macarons taste the same as the ones sold at McDonald's across the road, except for 4 times as much as the price. You see, this person from London is not just angry. They are onto something. The macarons at McDonald's are indeed manufactured by the same company. Today, McDonald's is universally called McDo in France. It is a cultural institution and even has its own slogan.
Venez comme vous êtes. So like, come as you are.
It is considered to be one of the biggest and most profitable markets for McDonald's in the world. So, McDo is special. But why would they come up with reusable dishware? It seems like quite the hassle. Well, the root of it all is the EU.
I know. The way that the video is put really well together, but it's so interesting to me.
The EU's war on plastic.
Sometimes people don't realize how powerful the EU actually is. The European Union's executive body, the Commission, can issue directives. These directives are goals, which must be achieved by all member countries. But every country can decide on how to get there. Once translated into national law, the member states must notify the Commission, which in turn checks if it is A-OK. Then, the directive needs to be enforced in every country. If a member fails, it may get fined. A particularly famous directive is Directive 2019/904 of the European Parliament and of the Council of 5 June 2019. Okay, whatever, nerds. Basically, it's a big EU move to reduce the impact of plastic on the environment. This includes the much ridiculed ban of plastic straws and balloon sticks. But in truth, it goes much further than plastic straws becoming paper ones. For example, the directive makes single-use plastic producers pay to clean up single-use trash. And finally, the important point, it forces member countries to find ways to reduce the consumption of single-use plastics, such as food containers and beverage cups. France is always exceedingly extra and top of the class in combating plastic. They've gone way above what was expected and banned new single-use plastic packaging from 2040.
Nice.
From early 2025, new plastic packaging has to be made of 100%
That's
recycled
awesome.
Yeah.
plastic.
It is cool how they have the initiative and stuff like that to do things that actually like help.
Yeah, and I feel like if they set that standard, there's like no excuse for other parts of the world.
Well, I think
At least first world countries.
I think a lot of Europe is, well,
Headed
especially
down
because it's
that
the
way.
EU. So the EU is the one who gets to control how they do things like that.
Yeah.
That's where I think like the whole like free market thing here, it gets out of hand because corporations and companies don't have to set rules, or they don't have to do things like this that actually help, or like, you know what I mean? Like our government doesn't really seem to care too much.
They don't. It's so that they could I feel like here they like to have these issues because then they could like act like they're gonna combat it in their next election. But it's like,
so
guys
it's
could
like
have done it by now.
what's that saying where you start the fire or whatever, or you create the problem to then be the ones to
Solve
put it
it.
out,
Yeah.
so it looks like exactly.
So you look like a hero.
I think we do that a lot. But I will say, what was I gonna
those
say?
wedges look good.
I forgot what I was gonna say. So.
And since the beginning of 2023, single-use packaging is banned from French fast food restaurants. Which brings us to this.
Chapter 3. Le dessin est incroyable.
When we first chatted with Juan, he shared our initial fascination with the French McDonald's reusable packaging.
If you look at the fries basket, like it looks sort of
Retro.
Immediately tell what it is, like a McDonald's fries basket. But it looks kind of modern. It looks kind of like, apple-fied. Yeah, they kind of nailed it with the design.
Juan also filmed how you ultimately return the dishware. The process seems a lot more dignified than the usual dumping of 500 kilograms of trash into an oversized, nasty, overflowing eat-it-all bin. We went on to model the dishware based on his footage and promotional material. Because why not? It's undeniably French. The design studio behind it is called Ilium. They picked a plastic called Trident for the various containers, which is similar to glass and ceramic in its hardness and transparency, and preserves the organoleptic qualities of the food. Vents, graining, striations have all been designed to address their functions in the best possible way. Greasy hands need great grip. The development of this technology took over 2 years.
Damn.
And surprisingly, it gets stolen a lot. The reused dishware went viral with good right, but it's just one small part of a much more elegant whole. For a country where eating at the restaurant is the norm, it makes even more sense that the food is not needlessly overpacked anymore. However, it's unclear if relying on reusable plastic is actually more sustainable than switching to long-wearing glass or china. The French government promises to remain vigilant on this question. McDonald's has been doing very tiny steps towards improving their packaging for more than 30 years. Ironically, we made a video in German before knowing about all this, criticizing the chain for greenwashing their enormous trash footprint in Germany and pretend fixing the issue. Some EU directives and one chunky national law later, we get this. To us, this is a story of how business, if set on the right track through legislation, can really leap forward. McDo really did turn around the French anti-plastic legislation to their benefit, simply through introducing a design so noteworthy, people talk about it. Like us.
Interesting.
Yeah, I kind of want to go to the McDonald's.
In Paris?
Yeah.
Yeah, me
or
too.
France.
Yeah, I honestly do too. It looks way more appealing.
Yeah, it does.
Yes. But I like that that the bread you get there is probably going to be better. Like the things are probably
Everything
gonna be
there
fresh.
would be better.
Yep.
But as far as like hormonal meat that they're sending, I just want to know because they were talking about how they wanted to deny like
The hormone meat.
imported meat. Yeah.
I think they
So,
continue
like-
to deny it. Like, I don't think
Oh,
they've ever
okay.
accepted it.
Cool. Yeah.
I think that's probably been a problem too, because
Well, if you're going to open a business, whether it's a franchise or not, you should stick to the standards of that location.
that's what I think they do that. That's what, like,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think that the U.S. was trying to get them to be like, yeah, we'll
Change
take
your
the,
law.
yeah. I think Europe, I don't think Europe has wavered on that, about doing that, because Italy literally just, Italy just made it illegal to have lab grown meat
Yeah.
in their country.
As they should.
Because we just passed a new lab grown meat,
We passed it, or
they just created a new lab grown meat that they're going to
so
be giving out.
disturbing.
Yeah.
Are they giving it out, or are they just like
They're going to, I think maybe they're testing it, but they're going to,
Abso-fucking-lutely
not giving it out, but they're going to start like selling it, I think.
I don't know if they're gonna start selling it.
It's the same thing when Beyond Burgers and all that shit came out. And a lot
Yeah,
of
but
people
that's-
jumped onto it.
Yeah, but that's like plant based, and I'm sure there's stuff in it that's not healthy.
That's what I've been hearing, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
that was interesting.
If you enjoyed that, like and subscribe, guys. Okay? Jump over to the vlog channel, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Peace.